Okay, so we're going to look today in this study skills video at a way of referencing your work for assignments. That's that awful bit you hate doing at the end of your assignments where you have to include a citation for every single particular source that you've used. And these days we're using such a range of sources, from books to web pages to video clips to audio clips and so on and so forth, that it can become quite a time-consuming task. And we've got to get the format right as well, and that can become pretty tedious. Thankfully, that's one of those jobs that technology has made so much easier for us. So I'm just going to show you a tool in which we can do that. We're going to open up Chrome. You'll see I've got some tabs open here. We'll use those in a little while. But Chrome is the best web browser for what I'm going to show you. So easy and free to download. So if you haven't got it, I would download Chrome for the purposes of this tool. I've typed RefMe in, as you'll see, into the search box there, and up comes the tool that I want us to use. Okay, now in this particular tool, I've already created an account. You could just create one here. I'm going to log straight in because I've already done that. And what you'll see when you log in, or for me in my case, is I've already got a book list or a reference list on the go for another piece of work that I'm doing. But what I'm going to do is show you how to create one from scratch. So we're going to add a project here, and for the purposes of this video, because we're doing our curriculum assignment at the moment, I'm just going to put that in there, and it appears at the top there. Now, what you can do, of course, is if you wanted to be doing bits and pieces of reading throughout the year on different projects relating to the different modules that we're doing, you could have a list going for each one. So you could have subject specialism going, and then if you find anything useful on your subject specialism and e-learning, which is the title of this module, you could add that in there ready. But that's just a little extra you can do. We're going to, for the purposes of this little video here, we're going to focus on our curriculum assessment. The other thing you need to do when you just set up is make sure that this little box here is showing the right formatting. So we use the Harvard formatting system, and you'll see here that it's saying that my current style is Harvard with the University of Wolverhampton. You remember sometimes we say to you that all Harvard systems are very slightly different. So for my other list, I've got the Open University version going. For this one, I've got the University of Wolverhampton. If it wasn't showing that, you would literally just type Harvard Wolverhampton into the search box here, and then you see it comes up here, and you can just select that. That means now you see here, if I click on this, it tells me that my current style is the University of Wolverhampton, which is what I'm after, and I'm ready to go. And so I'm going to create my first reference, and it really is as simple as that. And you'll see when you click on this create reference thing, you've got a range of different sources. You've got website, book, article, video, and then here you've got all kinds of other things that you might want to include in your bibliography. So I'm not going to look at those today. I'm just going to focus on the 4 at the top, but obviously the principles will be the same. The only one extra I am going to focus on actually is book chapter. But the principles will be the same, and you can play around with this depending on the sources that you're going to use. We'll start with the book then, because that's the really straightforward one. And see there, it tells you all kinds of different ways you can search. I'm going to go with ISBN number, and the reason I'm going to do that is because if you put the ISBN number in, you make sure that what this tool is going to reference is the specific edition of the book that you've got, rather than perhaps by mistake an older edition, because the ISBN number is unique to the edition. So if I do that, I know I'm going to get the edition that I want. You don't have to do it that way, but it's a quite useful way of doing it. You'll see that that comes up then. Obviously, I just double check that it is the book that I've got in my hand. And obviously you can't see that, but I promise you it is. So I'm just going to click on save. And that pops that straight into my reference list for me. Okay, note there's a couple of useful things here. I can just add here to say that I've used a quote from somewhere that I want to use, and I can write a note to remind me what I used that book for. I can put what pages that quote was on. So all kinds of things that I can then refer back to if I go back to that book and I want to find some more material later. I'm not going to worry about that just now, but it's quite useful. The other useful thing is, it says here inline citations. What that means is this long one here, that's what you put in your reference list at the end of your assignment. But in the main body of the text, the actual essay that you're writing, you just need author and date. And so that's what it's telling you. If you're just putting it in the main text, all you need to include is Wheeler 2015, and that's fine. And then this is the full reference that comes in at the end. Now, of course, some books are edited by people and the chapters inside them are written by different people. Okay, and so in order to do that, we go back to create reference. You remember we were over here, and it's got book chapter. So we're going to click on that, but we're still going to search by the ISBN number of the book in the first instance. So I'm just going to put that ISBN number in. It's a different book, so just bear with me a moment while I get that right. I'm not sure whether you need to put the dashes in, but I'm doing that at the moment just because I want to be absolutely sure I'm getting the right thing. So we put Cite in there. And you can see here, what I've now got up is the name of this book that I'm looking at. Here are my editors, okay, publication date, where it was published, all the rest of it. And then what it's just saying to me is, okay, who are the authors of the chapter that you want to include? And I want to include chapter 1. So the first chapter is by 2 people actually. So I'm going to add a second author and just put her name in. And like that. And that's that. And then it says, okay, what's the title of the chapter? So I'm just going to put that in. Actually, I used this book yesterday, so that's come straight up for me, which is quite handy. But you would just type that all the way in. Okay, and it says, what's the page range of the chapter? Because again, that information should go in your bibliography. And the page range of this chapter is pages 17 to 30. So I put in all the information I need to put in by hand, which is, of course, a lot less than if I was typing out the whole thing. And there it is, okay? And notice, look, that the page numbers appear there that I've put in. Notice you've got the title of the chapter not in italics and the name of the book in italics. All that stuff that you normally have to remember, it's all done for you by this tool. Okay, we want to create a third reference now. This time we're going to go for an article from a journal. So click on there. Now there's all kinds of different ways you can do this. If you've got the printed article in front of you, which is what I've got, I'm going to type the title in. If you've got an online article, you'll see here you could copy and paste the URL in if you wanted to. You could go for author. That wouldn't narrow it down enough for me. So I'm just going to put in the title of the particular article that I've got sat beside me here. And it relates to our curriculum stuff. Now that's actually not the whole title, that's the kind of main title and then there's a subtitle. So I'm just going to give it a go and see what I get if I click on search. And then I can again double check, yep, that's the subtitle that I've got in front of me, this is the author, so that's definitely the one I want. So you've got several possibilities here, that's fine. So all I do is click on that when it's highlighted, just like that. And again, everything I need is there, click save. Okay, note that what it's doing is it's inserting them in alphabetical order, so you don't have to worry about that either, which is really helpful. Okay, and again, it's telling you how to cite it within the main body of the text. Okay, a couple of other things then. So we're going to go this time, and this time we're going to go for a website page. Okay, and I've already got a website page just here that I'm going to use. It's telling me to copy and paste the website URL address, so I'm going to go there, I'm going to copy that. I'm going to go back to my referencing tool. Paste it in there, and then I'm going to ask it to cite it for me. Again, there it all is. Okay, note that there's no author here, okay, and there's no date published, but see what happens when I click on save. It puts that they don't know who it is, anon, and that there's no date, but it also puts in everything else, even the date that I've accessed it, without me having to do that for it. Now, there is another thing that you can do if you wanted to cite a web page straight from the web page that you're actually on. If you go up here to apps and add-ons, and this is why you need to be in Chrome because it only works on Chrome, there's this thing called Web Clipper. Just note there, by the way, mobile apps, you can have an iPad app or an iPhone app, not sure about Android, I have to confess I haven't checked that, which will sync with this. So if you're out and about, you can keep your lists up to date. But this thing here, Web Clipper, if you click on that, it will download for you. And what it downloads, sorry, I just clicked on the wrong thing there, is this little thing up here, this little icon here, okay? And if I am on a web page like this, so there's another one about curriculum innovation, and I'm thinking, gosh, actually, I'm going to use a quote from this in my assignment, rather than copying and pasting, I can, if I want to, hit the Web Clipper tool, and it says, right, that's RefMe. Which project do you want to add this reference to? And it's my curriculum assessment that I want to go for. Here's the reference, okay? And it asks me if I want to save it. And again, I can add notes here if I want to, but what I'm going to do is click on this, and then I can go to project. Now, if I didn't already have RefMe open, this would do this as well. So what I can see now is that that's been added. Here it is, there. So I can actually get rid of that one now. I've got it open here instead. So there's two different ways of referencing as well a online source. If I wanted to reference a video, that's my next one, we can reference a YouTube video as well. So I've decided that. Okay, so again, search by title or paste from YouTube, etc. So I've got a little YouTube video open here, which we'll be using in our session this week. It's even playing away to you. Look, I'm going to pause that. Again, I just copy that URL. Okay, go back into RefMe, paste the URL into there, click search, and it's having a little play there, looking for it, just waiting for it to find that. It's slowed down a bit. That means my internet connection's not as fast as I'd like it to be. There we go, and up it comes. All the information that we need there. We've not got to worry about finding it for ourselves. We click on save, and there it is in there. So I've showed you how to, two different ways to do web pages. I've showed you how to do a video. I've also showed you how to do a book, a chapter in a book, and an article. And don't forget that if you want to do anything else, just go into here and you've got all those options there. And then, of course, the really important thing is we don't want to just have to sort of copy and paste all this now. We just want that to be exported for us so that we can add it into our assignment when we've finished it. And that's all we do there is we export our bibliography. We can choose where we want to export it to. So in this case, I want to export it into a Word document. Okay, it's downloaded it here. I open that up. As he says, hopefully. Here it comes, it is on its way. Taking a minute, it's opening Word up for me because Word wasn't open. And there is my bibliography in a Word document. So now if I want to, I can just copy and paste that into my assignment at the end, and it's all done for me. So have a little play around with that tool, share your experiences with it, any particular issues you find with it on the discussion forum, but I really hope that that's going to be a helpful way for you to get your referencing done for your next assignment.